We'll start off with a song about Zergo. Bell Striker? In constant smashing all through his rage, I was an orc of constant smashing. I smashed helmets in my rage. I bid farewell to that old Tarkir timeline when I was battle crazed. The time when he was battle crazed. For in those years there were no troubles, no dragon lords were flying round. Now in this world I strike the bell. There are no cons to help me now. He has no cons to help him now. I fare thee well, my battle prowess. I never expect to Voltron again.
What?
I was just thinking if you had Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, and then Chroma Spell, and you already had Knight of Souls Betrayal out.
Yeah. I made a deck based on all of those -1 effects. Festering March was good, because then you just lock everyone out.
Yeah, Nate has done that.
Yeah, but you would also lock yourself out with Knight of Souls Betrayal.
Oh, well, then don't do that.
Yeah. That's why I was laughing. I was just thinking of the person who'd be like, Knight of Souls Betrayal, Chroma Spell, Urborg. Oh,
I mean, it's not a bad lock if you're ahead.
yeah.
I played a game with you, Nate, like right after Commander 2016 came out, and you were playing some jank like Hibernation or something like that, and you were only posing me. It was so frustrating.
Oh yeah, you're Mazarek.
Yes, yeah. I think I was the only one at the table playing green, and he just kept on bouncing on back, which knocked all my counters off.
Well, you kept attacking me.
Well, I can't just attack no one.
Well, if you attack someone else, maybe I won't bounce your creatures.
For now. Are we good to go?
I'm just looking at adorable gifs of dogs right now, so I think so.
Yeah. It's Commander Time! Welcome to Commander Time! We are yet another podcast about the Magic the Gathering format known as Commander. We are bringing you more Commander content. If you haven't ever thought you wanted more Commander content, then stop listening to this and go do something more productive.
I'm Patrick Sapola.
I'm Dean Goody.
I'm Nate Burgess. Today, we are starting our series, Evolve Your Meta. Is your meta being clobbered by opponents who play the color green? This episode is devoted to helping you fight against green Commander decks. Then, after that, we might talk about some games we played. We'll tell you what our cats or dogs have been doing. And then maybe you'll hear a goofy song. But first, shout out to our patron of the week, our very first patron, Rick McLennan. The main topic. Our main topic is how do we fight the color green?
Well, when I think green, I think elves. Lots and lots of elves.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I have an elf deck, don't get me wrong, but it's been months since I've played it, or even took it out of its box. It just sits there, being all elvy. But when I think of an elf, I think of mana dorks. And mana dorks, well, they're really tiny. And if you really want to shut down an elf deck, you just need to run some little creature hate, I guess we could call it.
Oh, can I actually just rewind and let's go to what does green do as a whole, not just token dorks, but green likes to ramp lands, draw cards, play big dudes, make tokens, and drop little dudes that make mana.
Yep. They also like to swing in for hits.
With those big dudes, for sure.
Yeah.
And those tokens.
Or little dudes, they'll swarm you.
With tokens, yeah. Absolutely.
So their win condition tends to be based on combat.
Right.
It does. So how do we deal with the tokens and mana dorks?
I say we make them smaller.
Yeah. If you shrink it down, you can make it a more manageable size, right?
Yeah. That's my favorite way of doing it. That or just board wipe over and over again. But that's just apple and oranges right there.
I like the oranges.
What do you run to shrink them, Patrick?
Well, I run black cards like Knight of Soul's Betrayal. 2 in a black. Legendary enchantment. All creatures get -1/-1.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
If you're playing a creatureless deck yourself, maybe.
If you want to run creatures yourself, you've got a couple of options there.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Ascendant Evankar and Krovak's Ascendant Hero, who is the color-shifted version of Ascendant Evankar. So the black version...
He's going left, and he's a vampire.
Yeah, the other one's going right.
Mm-hmm.
And these are 2 different guys. I think they might be brothers, though.
They're the same guy.
They're the same guy in alternate timelines of the same universe.
Yeah, but look how big his arms are in the black one. I mean, come on.
Well, he pumped up in the black one.
Yeah,
okay.
for sure, definitely.
It's like growing a goatee. It's the same as Miri. Miri the Cursed.
Yeah.
Or the other Miri.
Okay.
Yeah, plus the black one is a vampire and the other guy's a human. So, he's just got all beefed up with blood or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've sold me.
Mm-hmm.
You've sold me now.
But they're both 4 and then 2 of their colors. So 4 black, 4 white. Ascendant Evankar is a flying legendary vampire. Other black creatures get +1/+1, and non-black creatures get -1/-1.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, and Krovak's Ascendant Hero is also a legendary creature, but he's a human lord, so, he's good. Other white creatures get +1/+1, non-white creatures get -1/-1, and he has pay 2 life, return Krovak's to its owner's hand. He's also a 4/4, so he's a little bit beefier.
Yeah, he's actually, except for the color shift, he's strictly better than Ascendant Evankar.
Yeah.
But is he 1 mana better than Elish Norn?
Ooh.
No.
I don't think yeah, no, definitely not.
Yep.
I mean, everybody knows what Elish Norn does. We don't even have to read that, do we?
Nah.
Mm-mm.
Nah. As a little sub note, we can really just unilaterally apply Chroma Spell and Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, to just kind of wipe everybody's lands.
All your opponents.
Except for yours. Yeah.
Although, it wouldn't work with Krovak's, though.
No. So, that's just another knock against him.
Actually, do the swamps become black creatures?
I think they do.
Yes, they are swamp skeletons, I believe. Black swamp skeletons. Yeah. Let's double check that.
Skeletons? Are you sure?
All swamps are 1/1 black creatures.
All right, then.
Yeah, so it doesn't work with Knight of Soul's Betrayal or Krovak's Ascendant Hero because they would kill your land as well. But it does work with Elish Norn and Ascendant Evankar.
Yeah. I built a whole deck around this. Massacre Worm, too.
Oh, yeah.
You want to throw that in?
Ooh, that's a lot of pain.
Yeah, things like Festering March will hit him every 3 turns.
There's a couple of board wipes that'll hit those little creatures, too. We've got Consume the Meek for 3 black. Destroy each creature with converted mana cost 3 or less. Tokens happen to have converted mana cost of 0, so that gets rid of green's tokens. It'll also get rid of those lands. Unfortunately, it will get rid of your lands with that as well.
It's also an instant, which is actually really sweet.
Yeah, I feel like Consume the Meek is overlooked because it costs 5 and it's got a restriction on the size of the creature it can hit. But being an instant is a huge deal.
Speaking of 3 black, though, we also have Aether Snap. Remove all counters from all permanents and remove all tokens from the game.
Yeah.
Green is also pretty good at making your small dudes bigger with counters. So that's not a terrible way of going about it either. It also just has the added benefit of hating out planeswalkers or, I don't know, any Atraxa deck that's going around.
Yeah, this is probably Atraxa's worst nightmare. You know who else this is good against, actually, is Hepatra, Vizier of Poisons. It restores all of your creatures to their full size and gets rid of all those snakes Hepatra was making.
Yeah, get out of here, Snake.
Nobody likes those.
Looks like I might be sliding in my copy of Aether Snap into my decks again.
This was printed, actually, in one of the... I think it was the Mono Black Precon with Ob Nixilis as the commander. What was that, 2015? 2014.
Yeah. Let's see. Further, we have some destroy all green creatures.
What?
We have Nature Ruins for 2 and a black. We also have Perish for 2 and a black. But with this one, they can't be regenerated. So strictly better.
Yeah. I actually run this one and Hibernation, which is 2 and a blue instant. Return all green permanents to their owner's hand. So that works against enchantments too.
Yeah.
And I actually run both of those in a Vial Smasher deck because even if your opponents are not playing green, nothing is a dead card in Vial Smasher. They both say a random opponent for 3 damage.
That actually sounds like a lot of fun.
I think Perish is actually better, though, because the art is by Rebecca Guai. So.
Well, okay. So I'm sold there. Let's see. We also have a very strange enchantment here called Dystopia. It's 1 black. It's cumulative upkeep 1 life. During each player's upkeep, if that player controls any green or white permanents, he or she sacrifices a green or white permanent.
Yeah, this one's more an annoyance.
Wait,
than,
what kind of upkeep was that, Patrick?
Cumulative.
No.
Laxative upkeep?
No, that's not it either.
Community upkeep?
No.
Close, you're close.
You got...
I'm a teacher, everybody. Cumulative.
Where's the N? There's no
the letter
N.
N is not in this word.
I just read words.
Apparently, you do more than that.
Yeah, I like to add letters to words.
He embellishes on the words. He improves them.
I'll be teaching your children how to spell.
Oh,
it's nice that it doesn't cost mana, though, for that cumulative upkeep.
Yeah, and if you're already gaining a bunch of life, who cares about how much life you're actually having to spend on it? But it's still probably a minor annoyance. All you really need to do is, as you said, Dean, they're good at making tokens in green. You just need to make a token.
Sure.
And then you sacrifice that.
This is probably pretty decent in an Ulro deck.
It does get too expensive eventually.
I mean, so does Glacial Chasm, but it's still worth it for a while.
And I feel like we would be remiss if we did not mention Deathmark. 1 black, destroy target, green or white creature at sorcery speed.
At sorcery speed.
Yeah.
If this were instant, maybe. But not at sorcery speed. I'm not putting this in a commander deck.
Oh, God, no.
It's not even bad for commander. Because of, as you pointed out, when the new decks came out, Nate, the chances of running into a green or a white creature are up for now.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, I get it's not an instant, but for 1 mana, sorcery, it hits every single one of the pre-con commanders? No, not every single one. It
does.
It would. Yeah, fair enough. Moving on to some other just straight up removals. We have Reign of Terror, 3 black. Bury all white creatures or bury all green creatures. Lose 2 life for each creature put in the graveyard this way.
What's the oracle text on that? Is it or and?
Probably or.
Seems interesting.
If it were like these days, it would have one of those cool like bulleted choice. Choose one.
Sure.
Destroy all white creatures or, destroy all green creatures.
Yeah, it is or.
Destroy all green creatures or all white creatures. They can't be regenerated. You lose 2 life for each creature that died this way.
Seems okay.
Yeah, you could combo that with some graveyard exiling effect to replacement effects.
There's nobody in this podcast uses anything like that.
No, Leyline of the Void. Who would use that?
Nobody.
No.
Nobody here.
Definitely not.
Yeah, it wasn't in my Nekuzar deck or anything. Then Eastern Paladin, 2 black. For a creature knight. A knight creature.
Probably a zombie.
Yeah, he does look like a zombie. But for black tap, you can destroy target green creature. He's a 3/3. That's not the worst.
He's a zombie.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
Did they?
Zombie Knight.
Oh.
Yeah, Oracle.
Well, so if your zombie deck needs some green hate, there you go. You got it.
Yeah, I use it in my Queen Marquesa Knights Tribal.
Ooh.
Now, if you happen to be somebody like me who wants to run no creatures in a red and black deck, you might run stuff like Spreading Plague, which is an enchantment for 4 and black. Whenever a creature comes into play, destroy all other creatures that share a color with it. They can't be regenerated. Or maybe Lethal Vapors, 2 black. Whenever a creature comes into play, destroy it. Now it's got the added text where somebody can pay 0 and skip their next turn to destroy Lethal Vapors, but that doesn't happen too often. Usually it gets Beast Within, or Frozen Gripped.
Beasted within.
Beasted, yes. Bested?
Cumulative.
Nope. No,
Damn.
that's not it.
One of these days I'll get it.
Oh, crap, we forgot to talk about Godhead of All with the -1/-1 counter thing. Oh well.
How about some counter spells? Green doesn't do well against counter spells. We got Flash Freeze for 1 and a blue, counter target red or green spell.
No, this has the Death Mark thing again, where it's good because of the current meta with the new 4-color commanders. It's
still
decent.
probably not great. For 1 and a blue, you can run Arcane Denial.
Yeah, that's a great card.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I wouldn't run Flash Freeze. I would probably run Negate over Flash Freeze, but...
Yeah.
I'm not running this.
Nope.
Next.
Death Grip?
Death Grip. Now, your significant other may have talked to you about Death Grip, but if they haven't, it's a black enchantment for black, and you can pay black to counter target green spell. You can surprisingly counter things as an interrupt if you needed to know that.
This one's better than Flash Freeze because it's repeatable, I guess.
Yeah.
Are you running a black enchantment deck like Daxos the Returned? Maybe?
Yeah.
Sure. Or even my Creatureless Magus deck, possibly, but the color hate is pretty specific.
Yeah, if you were in green, or rather, if you were in blue, you could change the text of green to something, so you can make it a little bit more flexible.
Change the color.
But, still not great. Just run some more basic counters spells if you're going to be doing it. That's just going to get you further in the long run.
Yeah, run Forbid.
So none of us would run either of these cards?
Unless I was desperate to prove a point.
I think if anybody was going to run these cards, it would be you, Nate.
I'm not doing it.
No, I volunteer you.
I don't want to.
Too bad.
So another possibility is if their commander is blue, you can directly enchant their commander to annoy them in different ways. So all these are blue enchantments for a single blue enchantment aura. The first one's Controlled Instincts, enchant red or green creature. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. Hey, Kaideli, boom. Next one, Essence Leak. As long as enchanted permanent is red or green, it has, at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice this permanent unless you pay the mana cost again and again and again. Next, Coral Net. Enchant green or white creature. Enchanted creature has, at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice this creature unless you discard a card. So, yeah, I wouldn't personally run any of these, but if your meta is being terrorized by a green commander all the time, maybe think about it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think Essence Leak here is probably the best one, just because you can enchant any permanent with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's green or not.
Yeah.
You can just turn it green later if you want.
And all of these affect 2 colors, not just green, so you got extra options there.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're specifically looking to troll a green commander in your meta, maybe look at these.
Yeah.
All right, next. What's next? What haven't we done yet?
Protection.
All right, protection. The ubiquitous option here is Sword of Feast and Famine for 3 mana artifact equipment. Sword. It's a sword. I don't think it says that as a type, but
It's an
it's a
equipment.
sword.
It probably ought to.
Yeah. Equipped creature has +2/+2 and has protection from black and from green. And it does some other stuff. Don't worry about that other stuff. It'll never come up.
Never.
Yeah, you don't see this card played a lot. Nah.
No, never.
Circle of Protection, green. Do we care about this one?
Does anybody run the circles of protection? I've never seen them played.
I'm always so tempted to jam them in a deck, but I always know better. I'm tempted. I'm a weak man.
All 5 of them?
I always just want to make the worst cards okay. But I'm realistic in my knowledge of how good a card can actually get, and they can get up to okay.
I think that's a fair assessment of the card's capability.
I mean, there's also some random creatures with protection from green. Probably the best one out of the lot that I saw is probably Woodlot Crawler, a blue and a black, Forest Walk, and protection from green. That way he's unblockable to those green guys.
Which he is anyway from protection.
Yeah, so double unblockable in case he's like green-red or something.
Did we say what protection does? Just in case anybody doesn't know.
Oh,
there's an acronym.
Yeah.
It's DEBT. Can't be dealt damage, enchanted, blocked, or
targeted.
Or targeted by a source with that color.
Mm-hmm. So board whites will still hit it in these cases, but hey, you're dealing with green, so you're not going to see many anyway.
True. What do we got when green creatures do stuff?
Pesky green creatures.
If green has a lot of creatures and they tend to do stuff, you can punish them for it in different ways. All of these are going to be enchantments, right? This whole section is enchantments.
Yeah, it is.
Ether Flash, 2 red. Whenever a creature comes into play, Ether Flash deals 2 damage to it. Then there's Ether Sting, 3 red. Whenever one of your opponents plays a creature spell, Ether Sting deals 1 damage to that player. Yeah, take that, Reese decks.
Pew pew.
We also got Ether Barrier, 2 blue. Whenever a player plays a creature spell, that player sacrifices a permanent unless he or she plays 1.
It's like a really mean Ristic study.
It's a reverse Ristic study?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's a little twisted.
Surprising that it's blue.
Yeah, you read the next blue one.
All right. Soul Barrier for 2 blue as well. Whenever an opponent casts a creature spell, Soul Barrier deals 2 damage to that player unless he or she pays 2 generic mana. That's pretty decent, all in all.
Then we got some stuff that hoses attackers. We got Light Minefield for 2 white. Whenever 1 or more creatures attack, Light Minefield deals damage to each of those creatures equal to the number of attacking creatures. So, it punishes stuff like Avengers Zendikar, who just made 10 plant tokens and wants to attack with them. Each of those plants will take 10 damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Smoke for red. Each player can only untap 1 creature during his or her untap phase. Doesn't matter if they were tapped because they attacked, or if they were tapped as a mana dork, or any other activated ability. They're not untapping.
But it happens to your creatures, too.
If you're running any.
Yeah.
Or if you're running many, you might just have 1 or 2.
Well, this just seems like an easy fix for phasing.
Or you might have Vigilance.
Yeah, Vigilance would work too, so long as you don't activate anything.
Yes.
Or you could be Vial Smasher and don't care about attacking.
Sure, there you go. You guys run any of these cards?
I am tempted to run Ether Flash very, very often. I especially want to put it in decks where I want to double damage, things like that. Make sure we take care of, like, you can get a Furnace of Wrath or something down, and then you're dealing 4 damage to it. And then, you can double that and get up to 8 damage, and suddenly nobody's having fun.
Except for you?
Probably.
Hopefully, right?
That's the goal.
I think I might run Soul Barrier in Baral, because I run hardly any creatures in that deck. And then Smoke I run actually in a couple of decks. I run it in Magus, and I run it in Yidris.
Yidris is an interesting one.
Yeah, because you only have to worry about Yidris.
Not that I want to help these decks, but Narset and Rafik might want Light Minefield.
Or smoke.
Yeah. So that's some unfortunate advice there.
Yeah.
If you play Narset, just plug your ears.
I think
you don't
Nate
need any
would
more
like to
help.
rescind that advice.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, how about we move down to Dreamtides?
Yeah.
Since we're talking about not letting creatures untap. So Dreamtides is 2 and blue. It's an enchantment. Creatures don't untap during their controller's untap steps. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player may choose any number of tapped non-green creatures he or she controls and pay 2 mana for each creature chosen this way if the player does untap those creatures. So, if you have an opponent who builds every deck with the intention to play a 20-minute turn, repeatedly untapping a wall of mana dorks with Intruder Alarm and Paradox Engine, maybe Turnabout, whatever you got, hey, maybe you should try out Dreamtides.
Though that doesn't actually prevent him from untapping them on his turn with Intruder Alarm or anything, does it?
Yeah.
No. But it does make it more difficult.
Yeah, that's true. It turns off his ramp at the start of his turn.
If we're looking to improve upon this Dreamtides lock deck, we have Breath of Dreams. 2 blue for an enchantment. That reads cumulative.
That's closer. Yeah.
Cumulative upkeep blue.
Now getting colder.
Green creatures have cumulative upkeep 1.
I think that might even be funnier if I bleep all that.
Check out all those ATOGs in the background.
Is that what
That's a Phil Folio art right there, too.
Might be.
Or
Fogolio.
Foglio. Yeah.
It
I
might-
like this card,
It might
actually.
be ATOGs.
If I could figure out a way of making everybody else's creatures green, this sounds fantastic.
Sure. Run this in Blindseer. Blindseer can turn anything.
Blind Seer.
Yeah, it's Urza.
Until end of turn, though.
Well, sure.
You don't have to tap him, though, so you can keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that brings up an interesting rules question.
Let's read Blindseer. Fun fact, I actually have a blind friend who has a Blindseer deck. That may be a fun fact. Anyway, Blindseer is a legendary creature human wizard for 2 blue. He's a 3/3, and his ability is 1 generic and 1 blue. Target spell or permanent becomes the color of your choice until end of turn.
Yeah.
You're playing combo if you're playing this guy as your commander.
Yeah, you're doing something weird.
You're speaking my language now. So, I guess my question would be then, I'm going to have to sit down and do research, or just maybe go to the judge chat and ask, okay, so you give a red creature, you turn it green with Blindseer, you have Breath of Dreams up, all right? You do that during the upkeep so that he has to pay for it.
No.
Okay, that's all. Or
you do it during your end step.
Or you do it, yeah, you have to, oh wait, that doesn't work. The combo just doesn't work.
Sure it does. You do it at the beginning of your end step, and then at the beginning of the next unstep, it loses its greenness.
Oh, okay. But at the end of that end step, you're going to have to go back and do it again. But does the upkeep have a second trigger on it?
Yes, it does. It's a cumulative upkeep, so it keeps on triggering.
Yeah, but you would have lost it because it was not green at the end of turn.
No, it's the same object, though. So it remembers. It remembers.
So the upkeep does accumulate.
That's what I think. I'm pretty sure. If you flicker it, it'll forget about it, just like anything with cumulative upkeep. But I'm pretty sure that it would remember being the same object and just changing color.
Well, if you're a judge,
I'm not.
Let us know.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. None of us are judges. I like to pretend to be a judge, but that's not.
Well, one thing you can do is go to chat.magicjudges.org/mtgrules. And let's see. Ask the judge. So what was your example?
All right.
Blindseer and Breath of Dreams.
Yeah.
Our question is, will the creature remember the cumulative upkeep, or will it start over again after it changes back to its original color?
I'm assuming you're asking, Nate.
Yeah.
Okay.
While Nate's asking, do you want us to talk about these other cards while you're asking, Nate?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. In this same sort of category of cards, we've got High Seas. Red creature spells and green creature spells cost 1 generic more to play. And we've got...
Irini Sengir.
Yeah.
2 black. It's a creature. Summon legend. White enchantments and green enchantments each cost an additional 2 generic to cast. She's a 2/2. She could be your commander.
No.
Yeah, you'd have to really be playing, I don't know, building a deck specifically to beat Phil DeLuca's Karametra Enchantress deck, maybe.
Yeah, Selesnya Enchantress. Well, any Selesnya Enchantress deck.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you just have a real big vendetta against Parallel Lives.
Sure, it works against that. A lot of Sigarda decks get built as Enchantress Voltron. A lot of Tristani decks have an enchantment sub-theme.
Also just hates on all of the Theros block for the most part.
Well the
green and white.
And the white portions, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oracle text says she's a legendary creature, vampire dwarf.
What?
Vampire dwarf.
So for all your mono black legendary deck building needs, you've got a black dwarf. In addition to Balthor the Defiled.
See, now they're the dwarf tribal. If you want to run all the dwarfs, in Magic, you're just having to go 5 color at this point.
Mm-hmm. Mono black dwarf tribal works too.
No, it doesn't.
But there's 2 mono black legendary dwarves, Nate. Are you still waiting on Judge Cat?
Let's see.
Okay. To answer your question, Dean, the effect ends in the cleanup step, it appears, for Blind Seer.
Yes.
So if you activate the Blind Seer ability at the end step of the previous turn, it goes away because of the cleanup step.
Okay.
So it doesn't work at all?
Not the way I said it. It'll still work.
Nope, does not work. The combo does not work at all.
All right.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dang. Well, that was a wasted little spiel about how interesting it was.
All right, then. What section are we on now?
Discard.
Discard.
So green does like to draw cards. It's like second or third for card draw, would you say? We've got blue first, and then arguably black or green, I think, is next.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, green it's creature dependent, but, that's still... It's kind of what green wants to do anyway, is get some creatures out.
Sure. I mean, Rishkar's expertise is a thing, and Shamanic Revelation, that's another thing. Those draw you massive amounts of cards in green. So if we want to trim green's hand size down, we've got stuff like Leshrak's Sigil, which is an enchantment for black, and it has the activated abilities black. When any opponent successfully casts a green spell, look at that player's hand and choose a card. He or she then discards that card. Use this ability only once each time a green spell is cast. And black, return Leshrak's Sigil to its owner's hand.
So you're playing this in a mono black deck?
Yeah.
Yeah, almost certainly.
Would you, though?
No.
I mean, I wouldn't play it at all, but yeah, if you were going to play it.
If I had one friend and that guy really liked playing green, I might side this in. Just put it right in there, and then he would also be boarding in all the black hate he could. But it's corner case at best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how about these next ones? Putrefaction, 4 and a black enchantment. Whenever a player plays a white spell or green spell, that player discards a card from his or her hand. Do we like this one?
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Bereavement. Do we like this one?
This one might see a little bit more play.
It's cheap enough.
I think Putrefaction is better, though. It hits more things.
Yeah. So Bereavement is 1 and a black. It's pretty cheap. Enchantment. Whenever a green creature is put into a graveyard from play, its controller discards a card from his or her hand.
I just want to point out, this is going to shut down a lot of Marin decks. Just shut them right down. They're going to empty their hand, and then...
Wait, why is that a problem for Marin?
Well, no. That's a good point.
This is going to help a lot of Marin decks. Marin is going to run this herself.
Leyline of the Void is something against Marin.
Yep, that's a card. Yeah.
What else we got here? We got some other stuff to talk about, right? Green likes to ramp. Lots of land ramp in addition to dorks.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially land ramp.
Yeah.
Green does the land ramp.
Yeah. You got Kodama's Reach. You got Rampant Growth. You have Search for Tomorrow.
Cultivate, Tempt with Discovery, all those disgusting things. So how do we keep that in check in green? How about Acid Rain?
How about Acid Rain?
Sorcery, yeah. It looks like we're killing one of the Weeping Angels from Doctor Who in the art there.
It does.
Yep.
So 3 and a blue for a sorcery, destroy all forests.
Yeah, a lot of the green land ramp cards specifically look for forests. So
yeah,
get rid of them.
Goodbye.
Get them out.
And what's better than getting rid of all the forests? How about just punishing people for playing the lands that they just ramped out?
No, I think getting rid of the forests is better.
I think Nate's right. But it's fun. Yeah. It's fun to punish those players.
Yeah, it's still fun, and you can play this in any deck, not just a blue deck, like Ankh of Mishra. 2 generic. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, Ankh of Mishra deals 2 damage to that land's controller.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And if you like it in creature form, you could run Zozu the Punisher. Same exact thing, just on a 2/2 goblin.
I really wanted to play this in K&T.
Yeah.
Just really punish people for actually wanting to play land.
That's an interesting idea. Canea Centiro, what? Ramp and punish ramp?
Yep.
Everybody has lots of lands, but I'm also running, what is it, Burning Earth, and what's the one that whenever land is tapped, that they take damage? That one.
Burning Sands? Nope.
Nope. Mana something. Not Mana Burn.
Mana Barbs?
Yeah, that's the one. Burning Earth and Mana Barbs are pretty similar. Mana Barbs is all lands, and Burning Earth is only non-basic lands.
And for the connoisseurs of the tutor haters, Psychogenic Probe, 2 generic. It's an artifact. Whenever a spell or ability causes a player to shuffle his or her library, Psychogenic Probe does 2 damage to that player.
Most of Green's ramp searches for lands. So,
and then they have to shuffle afterwards.
And then you get the added benefit of hitting black players who like to cast a Demonic Tutor.
Well, people are going to be playing lands more often than they are tutoring things.
That's very true.
So Ankh of Mishra is better.
Probably. Yeah, I would say it's probably better, but
it's going to do more total damage.
Unless you can
Ankh of Mishra is.
Unless you can force people to shuffle their decks somehow.
Oh yeah, in Marilyn of the Mornsong.
Or Mad Blind Mountain.
Have you ever heard of a mechanic called Gravestorm?
I have heard of it from Future Sight.
Yeah.
Whenever creatures put into its...
Whenever a permanent.
Yeah, you copy it. You copy a card with Gravestorm. You copy it for each card put into a graveyard from play this turn, right?
Right. And there's only exactly 1 card with Gravestorm. It's called Bitter Ordeal. You can search target player's library for a card and exile it. That player shuffles his or her library.
Ooh. So you could kill them while you kill them. Sounds like overkill to me.
Well, it's a sorcery, so you're doing it on your own turn.
You are.
It doesn't matter, though. This still deals 2 damage from them for shuffling.
So you're trying to do this right after a board wipe or something?
Sure. That's one way to do it. Or you could have a whole bunch of eggs in play. Sack 'em all. Gravestorm.
That's dirty.
Or Acid Rain.
Yeah. That also works.
Yeah, it does.
Let's see. What else we got? Ooh.
I like this deck already.
Here's some stuff I run in Magus. Creatureless Magus. Tainted Aether is an enchantment for 2 black. Whenever a creature comes into play, its controller sacrifices a creature or a land.
Yeah. You do play this one.
I sure do. I don't run any creatures, so I never have to sacrifice anything. I don't know what the big deal is.
I just like this card.
And then we've got Burning Sands. Hey, if you get these both out at the same time, your opponents are in for a bad time. Burning Sands is an enchantment for 3 red. Whenever a creature is put into a graveyard from play, that creature's controller sacrifices a land. Ouch.
So you get them coming in and you get them coming out.
The best way to get them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Speaking of sacrificing lands, flooded woodlands. 2 blue-black. No green creature can attack unless its controller sacrifices a land whenever that creature attacks. Yeah.
Yep, burning down the world.
Yeah.
Note that these don't work against Titania or the Gitrog monster.
Or Omnath Locus of Rage.
Do they?
Yeah. No. Omnath has the landfall create a token, and then when the token dies, it deals damage.
Omnath usually has some kind of weird land destruction triggers built into it as well, though. It often runs Titania.
Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
I think that's... Yep.
Did we get everything?
I think so. And then we're just going to go right down at the bottom for non-effective strategies.
All right. Hit it.
All right. So if we're going to just be in a meta with some green, maybe not just like mono green or anything like that, we need to know how to properly fight them. Because we're not going to win by being bigger than green. Apart from Eldrazi Titan Tribal, green is just going to be bigger. So, what do? We can go to the skies. And before the mechanic reach was invented, that was the best way to go about it. Is you just avoid the big guys entirely and you just attack above them while keeping the big guys at bay with some, little guys and hope they don't have trample. Better than just small guys. How about small guys with death touch? Kill them. Kill the big guys. Just do it. Over and over again. Eventually they'll run out.
But the thing is, green is also pretty good at making creatures with death touch.
Yeah. It's a war of attrition.
I mean, you could also just
Yay.
run some of the cards we talked about where, we blow up those green creatures or we bounce them to their owner's hand or we make them really tiny.
Yeah. At the very least, death touch is very good for making people not want to attack you for fear of losing their dudes.
Mm-hmm.
My dude.
Oh, you could... If you want to make green's creatures smaller... Here's my plug. If you want to make green's creatures smaller, you could run Godhead of Awe, which is a spirit avatar for Hybrid Azorius 5. So, white or blue 5 times. It's a 4/4 flyer, and it says other creatures are 1/1.
It's like humility.
It almost is. It still lets creatures keep their abilities, but that, whatever. 10/10 Kozilek is now a 1/1 Kozilek.
Still with Annihilator, though, which is...
Well, it depends on which Kozilek we're talking about here, but sure, though, the one does have Annihilator still.
He can still do stuff as a 1/1.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he's not nearly as scary.
He'll get there eventually. Speaking of ineffective strategies, we have tax effects. Green really likes to ramp. And surprisingly, when they have 1,000,000 mana, you know what does not? They just do not care about spending 1 or 2 extra. It's just kind of built into it. So don't try to tax them out of the game.
Yeah.
Locking them out is still effective, which is a category of taxing, I guess, with prison effects or stack strategies. That still tends to be effective against green.
Keeping them tapped.
Yeah. That usually works out better.
Yeah, green's not huge on vigilance, so if they have to tap to attack or something like that, and you can keep them down, green often can't do much about it.
And finally, a strategy that probably works way too well is mass land destruction. But that just is more of just like in general. Mass land destruction just tends to work, assuming you plan for it.
Yeah, but you do the targeted mass land destruction, like acid rain.
Yeah. You just blow their lands up.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all we have to say about hating green.
For now.
Yeah, did we hate green enough tonight?
I think it's important to get the message out there.
I wish I liked green more.
Yeah, I whenever we get new players and we just tell them that color's just banned from the format.
Yeah. Sorry. They pushed it too much last set and it just got the whole color banned.
Across all formats. It's not just EDH.
Yeah.
Green just doesn't exist anymore.
Nobody can use it. All those Pro Tour decks that you see coming up, it's just the man trying to trick you.
Mm-hmm. Wait, what?
Which man?
We played a game this week.
Yeah, we did.
We sure did.
We played a couple.
Yeah, because the first one went by really quick.
last game. Yeah, so I was playing it was featured in my recent article. It's a Bruce Tarl and Ikra Shadiki Legendary All-Stars deck.
It was good. It was very good.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, it was very good.
I was impressed.
Yeah.
All right. And what were you guys playing?
So I played my Magus Creatureless Punishment Enchantments deck, which we talked about in this show a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a Punisher stacks deck, which is, it doesn't actually generally remove stuff, it just punishes people for doing anything. Oh, you're tapping lands? Take some damage. You're casting creatures? Take some damage. You're attacking me? Take some damage. It doesn't win much, but it's a lot of fun.
And I ran my the Nekuzar deck I run in my local meta, which actually does much better than it did here.
Does it have a sub-theme other than just being Nekuzar?
It's an anti-life gain deck, originally.
Really?
Originally, that's what it is. I've actually cut some of the some of the tutors that I ran for it. One of the local meta guys runs an Oloro deck that is annoying. Very annoying.
You didn't play any anti-life gain stuff against... Why did you not draw it? Or is it not in the deck anymore?
I didn't draw it, and I got hurt very quickly. I need a little bit more time to get to Reign of Gore / I didn't draw almost any of my wheels in these games.
Right. But you do have things like Reign of Gore and Tainted Remedy and Erebos.
Yep, and Spiteful Visions.
All right.
Yeah, that's in there. It's in there. It was...
Spiteful Visions? Do you mean Everlasting Torment?
Everlasting Torment, that's the one.
Yeah. I run Everlasting Torment and Tainted Remedy in Magus, but not the other two. Interesting fact, Reign of Gore doesn't get around lifelink. So
it does not.
Your lifelink effects would have still gained you all that life, Nate.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
It was a rules change when they put damage off of the stack again, or when they took it off the stack again. They had to change how lifelink specifically worked in combat.
It's because combat damage is not an ability, and lifelink says damage dealt by this creature causes you to gain that much life. It's not.
Oh, wow. So it's a word lawyer kind of argument.
Yes.
Okay. Well, so much for Reign of Gore.
Still good.
Just
Shuts down Oloro.
Yeah.
You like gaining that 2 life? Nope, you lose 2.
Yeah, I think the games would have been a lot different if you had drawn some of that anti-life gain against Bruce Tarl.
Yeah, Bruce Tarl. Surprisingly good. I haven't played much against him.
It's not a surprise at all. He was pretty obvious he was going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when we all revealed our commanders, yeah.
Yeah.
And your Hive Mind was kind of an all-star.
Hive Mind is fun. Just straight up, he's just good.
Yeah, I'll agree that Hive Mind is fun.
It just causes everybody to stop for a second and make sure what they're going to do is going to resolve the way that they want it to resolve.
I think the most interesting thing that happened with Hive Mind was when you cast Baral's Expertise.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we got 2 things going on.
Yeah. Yeah, because Baral, I cast my Barals, and then Nate casts his, it goes on the stack, and then Dean got his, so Dean resolves his first, so he bounced a couple mana rocks.
I think I bounced Nate's Lightning Greaves.
Yeah, that's what it was. Or Swiftfoot Boots.
Whichever, yeah.
Yeah, one of the two.
And then
you cast Terminate for free.
Yes.
So that means I got to Terminate.
And Nate got to Terminate.
And then we resolved all those, and then I got to bounce Nate's creature that he played for free at the end of that.
Yep. Saw that coming.
Yeah. I got some free information and then lost soon after.
So did my Terminate resolve first in that case?
Yes, it did. But,
okay.
Yeah.
But I think there were only 2 or 3 creatures on board, and 2 of them were yours, or one of them was yours.
Yeah.
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 So, some of my observations, if a player has Pillow Fort enchantments, then put their name on Saskia when you cast her.
Yeah.
And then hit the other people. That should be pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Bruce and Ikra together, the life gain, even though I never cast Ikra Shadiki, but I could have, and then the life gain would have been even worse. I don't really care about punishment damage, so it probably wasn't a good matchup with multiple punishment decks
Yes.
in the same game against a life gain deck, because you're punishing each other, so you get double the punishment, but I get to recover from maybe one of those.
At the end of that one game, I think I was at 1, Patrick was at 2, and you were at like 83?
I don't think it got that high. It's maybe
60s,
the 60s.
yeah.
I thought you hit 80 in one of the 2 games.
Well, I think I actually brought him down quite a bit with
okay.
Phyrexian Tyrant.
Tyranny.
Tyranny, yeah, that one.
That was well after he killed me.
The bonus Nekuzar.
Yes. Nekuzar that also hits me. It's kind of like Underworld Dreams if somebody took it from me.
Mm-hmm. All right, then. How about our pets? The Pets Update. What are they up to?
Snails. We have snails now. My daughter and I were walking the dog, and she found some snails on the ground and picked them up. And now we have snails in a jar on the kitchen counter.
Do they have names?
No, they don't. But my wife doesn't like them.
No?
So, of course, we have to keep them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Can you put like little dots of nail polish on their shells to tell them apart?
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good idea. We should do that.
All right.
Yeah. Hmm.
How about you, Patrick?
Let's say my dog is being a dog. He's trying his best to make sure that we stay asleep.
What's your dog's name?
Talon. Big, ferocious name for a 20-pound dog.
All right.
Yeah.
Makes me think of Fallout 3.
Yes.
Is that where the name came from?
No.
Well, all right then.
There's a long story behind the name, and it's not really all that good.
Perhaps for another episode.
Yes.
All right. In my news, the broom, the ancient enemy of one of our cats, it has been defeated. Its corpse lies in front of the refrigerator from where it was propped up every night, and they pull off the bristles with their teeth and carry them around like trophies.
And they finally won, huh? They beat the broom?
Oh, they keep beating it. We prop it up.
Over and over again.
They take it down.
Uh,
So it's an enrichment activity for them. Yeah, that's what I'll call it.
It's gotta be a hard life being a broom, though.
It's still got some bristles left. And then we just get a new broom, I guess.
I guess so.
Poor broom.
Maybe get a Swiffer next time.
Aye.
Communalative. Communalative.
Oh, we have to throw him at least 1 or 2 of those cards each episode now, Nate.
Communalative.
All right.
Communalative?
Nope.
There's the letter N is not in the word.
On the next Commander Time, articles!
Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about our articles. I'll talk about Ikrishidiki some more, both as a main partner index and as a backup partner index, because I've written a few articles that have her in there.
You have. Dig Through Time, we're going to be talking about Shadowmoor and Eventide, which have become newly relevant to Commander with the release of Amonkhet and Hour of Devastation come out, with the -1/-1 counter theme overlapping between the two, between Shadowmoor, Eventide, Amonkhet, and Hour of Devastation.
You got any crazy speculations? Just wild conjecture?
You mean cards to pick up?
No, just wild
Cards to pick
conjecture
up?
of what's going to be in the set.
Hour of Devastation, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I'm sorry. I haven't had enough time to think about it.
Okay.
I think they're going to actually give it a subtitle of Shadowmoor 2, Electric Boogaloo.
We might get a Nicol Bolas. I hear he might be in the set.
No, they're just going to sandbag that until next year.
He'll show up in the art, but he won't have a card.
They'll wait until Dark Intimations has actually rotated out of standard.
No, they won't.
Nicol Bolas, the meandering tower shell of planeswalkers.
Yes.
Poor guy.
All right, and for my articles, I'll probably end up talking about my last article that was put up there, Spy Kit, and probably the next article I'll put up there, which is about taxes.
Oh,
Taxes. Well, I love to give them, or I love to impose them, but I hate to pay them.
There's a lot to talk about when it comes to taxes, surprisingly.
No fun. Taxes are no fun.
No,
Death usually comes up with taxes, doesn't it? Like, yeah, man, I'd rather be dead than pay these taxes.
Yeah. I mean, if you build your deck right, that's the way it goes. I'm not sure if I build my tax decks correctly.
I think next time we should play with Shadowborn Apostles.
Yeah, we could do
That's
that.
fun taxes.
And how many Shadowborn Apostles are you claiming on your taxes this season?
30! 30 Shadowborn Apostles.
That sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have more than 25.
Yep. So you can hit the Thrumming Stone.
Mm-hmm. Visit us at patreon.com/commandertime.
You can find me on Twitter at Grubfellow.
At Detective Yarmits.
At Mr. Plorg.